So we were going to go walk down the stairs and make it look like we were going to have a chance encounter with Jay Redman. Instead, the music was playing and we couldn't have heard him. He's kind of a soft-spoken guy. Once you get to know him, he speaks softly, he's timid. You know, we try to pull him out of his hole, but it's a difficult thing to do. Jay, how you doing, man? We're glad to have you.
Pete, I'm honored to be here. I mean, look at this amazing day. In the center of the free market economy, the greatness of America, New York City, Fox and Friends. And here we are talking about how important it is to take care of veterans, take care of the freedom of this country.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it really, when you wrap it, when you say it like that, it puts a chill up my spine to be out here doing this. And to be talking to the guy, if you're out there watching, you recognize this as a Purple Heart and the Trident. And you wrote a book called The Trident. Tell folks about the book you wrote and that talks about your service both before, during, and after. What are the major themes that people would take away from a book like The Trident and your experience?
Absolutely. You know, The Trident at its core is a book about leadership, overcoming adversity, and what it is for young men to go out there and become part not only of the military, but in my case, become part of Special Operations Unit, and to understand what it is to be a leader, to fight for freedom, and to make a difference for this country. You know, and then beyond that, it's also the relationship that I had with my wife. So I think anybody that wants to get a feeling for what it's like to be in the military, to deploy, what our military families go through, they should read The Trident. It is a great book, tons of great reviews, and it's just an honor to be able to still be here and tell that story.
Boy, isn't that the case that no veteran serves alone? The family does alongside it. It's oftentimes a story that gets lost. And in fact, Jane Horton, who we may talk to eventually here as well, as a military spouse, when we first started Concerned Vets, she said, you got to make sure you talk military family, military family, military family. Talk about, do you feel like they're lost in the equation, sometimes just not talked about? And how do they manage transition usually when we look at transitioning back home?
I absolutely think they're lost in the equation. I mean, I hear people all the time talking about we got to take care of our military. I mean, if you just talk about the problems that we have in the VA, well, it's not just the veteran that it impacts that entire family. You know, those guys that are struggling with the invisible wounds of war, that has ripple effects that impacts that family. The wives trying to find their husbands once again. The kids that can't connect with their moms or dads just because of the impact of that. And that's what people don't think about. Not only that, our severely wounded warriors that come home and now they need a caregiver for the rest of their life. When we're talking about severe traumatic brain injury, you know, you're talking about moms and dads that have had to give up a career, or wives that have had to give up a career, and for the rest of their life, they're going to be caring for this individual. I think that's something that people don't realize. That is the true impact of war and why it's so critical that the American people understand that we have to take care of our veterans.
Such a great point. You think about the veteran waiting, but it's the spouse and the children who are also waiting and wondering why the government can't meet the basic needs of that individual after all that they've given the country in the first place. It amplifies the problem of the VA, because we talk about 22 million veterans, 9 million are enrolled, but you multiply that by 3 or 4 by just the immediate family affected by it, and that's why an issue that can feel like a niche issue, and it shouldn't be, but hey, it's the VA, is actually has such a wider impact. More people are affected. It isn't, and some people call it a sleeper issue. It isn't and shouldn't be, and that's part of what we're trying to do, is wake the country up to the travesty that is what vets are facing right now.
And I think it even goes beyond that. So if you step it even one further ring out, now you're talking about the neighbors and the friends and everybody around that veteran. You know, one of the big things I think that's so important with us, with Concerned Veterans for America, is not only do we want to take care of veterans, we want to encourage veterans to get back out there. They've gotten all the skills they need to be great leaders, great team members, to get out there. They understand how to overcome adversity. We need that back in American society, and that's why I feel like it impacts everybody, not just their family. It impacts their neighbors and friends, and if we can get these people back out there, if we can take care of them, it's going to have this ripple effect, this positive ripple effect of leadership, overcoming adversity, and bringing back the greatness of America.
Absolutely. You know, think about that, America. Would you not want to hire a man like Jay Redman? Would you not want to hire a man like Joe Whaley, who we talked about, Chocolate Works, building a veterans-owned business here in New York City? It's not about charity. It's not about taking care of vets for the city. That's a good business decision, hiring a veteran or bringing a veteran on board. They know how to work a plan. They've got the ethics. They believe in something greater than themselves. They'll come out at 6 a.m. on a rainy day because they said they were going to be here. You and I, hey, now, did you think there were going to be that many people out at 6 a.m. this morning, or were you worried like I was?
You know, I wasn't, because I think people that support the freedom of this country, They understand that right now, somewhere, anywhere in the world, our veterans are operating 120-degree heat. They're operating somewhere in sub-zero temperatures. They're operating in a humid jungle somewhere, and they do it. The weather doesn't stop them, and I think these people understand. They know.
Amen. Amen. Well, Jay, thanks for taking the time to chat. It's an honor to lock shields with you in this effort, man.
Amen.
We appreciate it. So.